Welcome back to another hour of Good Chalk, Bad Chalk presented by Equine Edge. Brady Klotz here with my co-host Mike Somich, here to give you guys some live racing at Charlestown tonight and a bunch of other things to talk to that happened last weekend. What happened last weekend, Mike? Tell us.
I don't know. There was this little tournament in Vegas that happened that went pretty well for me. Ended up blanking on day one and finishing 7th overall. So that was fun. Got my BCBC seat locked up. Got got to come fly home with $65,000 in cash. So that's always a good time. And yeah, it was a blast in Vegas, man. I still got my Vegas voice going. So it's significantly better than it was on Tuesday. But here we go.
Hey, you deserve it, man. Nice run. I would say what you did without knowing for a fact was probably unprecedented. I mean, to come back like that after throwing a goose egg on day one. When we went to the NHC together last year, did you learn and do anything different this year than what you did last year? Because I'm guessing you played some pretty high cap horses to get yourself in position on day two.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I structured my entries differently. I had 2 again this year. I had 2 last year. Last year, I was trying to find like these best horses I was going to put on both entries. And I just said, I'm just playing the same. And I did. And then I decided, this is a train wreck after day one and just started firing at cappers and wanted to get back into a position where I could make a run. And I hit the 20-1 at Gulfstream. And then I hit a 12-1 at Santa Anita. And then I hit a 12-1 at Santa Anita. And then I hit an 8-1 at Santa Anita. And then I had a place horse. And then I had the winner in the last at Golden Gate. And all of a sudden we're on top of the leaderboard here for day two, which is absolutely incredible. And shout out to my boy Chris Inman too, who had 0 on day one. We talked to Saratoga, we talked online a bunch. He came over and said hi during the tournament. He had 141.60 on day two. So he almost made the move to get into the money as well with the 0 day one and big time day two. But yeah, I don't think anyone zeroed out day one and made the final table before. So we'll take that.
Yeah.
We'll take that feather in the cap.
That's crazy, man. I'm just thinking, man, if you could just gotten like $30 on day one, man, we'd be taking home the whole BCBC, but hey, or NHC. But we got Bill in the show. Oldie's back. We got to talk about Oldie's pick 6 hit for like 25 big ones. Nice job, Oldie. Shout out to him. Man. John's in the house. Ken's in the house. So thanks for all joining us tonight. Sam Houston canceled. So thank you, Charlestown, for still running tonight. I've been snowed in for 3 days ever since I got back from Pegasus. I went to the office on Tuesday. I went home, and all of a sudden it hasn't stopped snowing since. So we've had a couple of snow days, and it looks like snow day 3 tomorrow. So what does that mean? That means I'll be playing Gulfstream from my couch with my buddies. And so it's been a good couple of days post Pegasus at Gulfstream. The pace numbers have absolutely been killing it. And oh my God, I mean, I'm hitting some verticals right now. You ever feel like you're just seeing the ball well?
About the last 6 weeks.
yeah, absolutely. So Debbie's in the house. Let's go. We're on the track at Charlestown. And so let's get right into the capping. We're going to talk late pick 5 with you guys in between these races. And then we're going to talk about Mike's NHC experience, my Pegasus experience round 2. And so let's get right into it. Mike, we've got 4.5 furlong sprint here at Charlestown race 3 for mares 4 and up. Sloppy track tonight, which, we know speed usually holds at Charlestown. Tonight, it might hold even more as some of these horses might not like this sloppy kickback.
Yeah, I was surprised to see a horse win from off the pace in race 2. So I'm interested to kind of see what it's like. And sloppy is an understatement. This track is like just a mud pit. Like it looks like someone just put an absolute downpour. I'm happy it stopped raining because I was a little worried we were going to lose Charlestown tonight. So we'll start out with race 3 here. We'll talk a little about the pick 5 carryover as well. There's a $32,000 carryover, race 5 through 9. So we'll definitely make sure we mention that. Put a ticket together for it. When I was looking at this race, I leaned toward the 3-horse Lady's Signature. I was actually surprised the morning line had the 2-horse Rockin' Anna Rollin favored. I think the 3-horse Lady's Signature has a little bit more tactical speed than the 2 does. There is quite a bit of speed in the race, but Lady's Signature doesn't necessarily need the lead. We saw that with the win last time out to still be effective. And this just seems like a really nice spot for her. You see we're at the same GSR level, but the strength of race drops to the lowest strength of race this horses face any on the page. So you see 52, 56, 58. This up here is a 50. If you look up at the top, you can see the SOR. So I like the fact that we're dropping, but we also are staying right at the same GSR. So I think the 3 has an awfully good shot in here. I'm thinking either playing doubles through the 3 or just playing the 3-5 cold exacta. What did you think, Brady?
Yeah, no, I landed on the 3 as well before we saw live odds. The 2 is actually the 9-5 morning line favorite, and it is not getting any respect on the board here. And so I was very against the 2. I was very on the 3 Lady Signature. I'm not really happy about the 7-5 price, but as the EE morning line states, 9-5. Second time with this trainer, and kind of second time cutback on this distance as well. And so I like that we won at this group last time out. We're being able to stay at the same level of SOR, even actually 2 points less than what we raced at last time. So that meant a lot to me that we know that Lady Signature likes this track and likes this distance. And so I felt like she was going to be very tough to beat. The other horse I was maybe looking at that maybe before it was a sloppy track was the 5 Make It a Double here. So this horse is coming out of similar races, has burned a little bit of money, but I thought the horse figured until we got the sloppy track. I just think the 5 is going to be stalking and probably trying to come from a little bit too far out of it tonight. And so if I was going to probably single a horse, it was definitely going to be the 3. We got 42% win. We got an 89 pace rating, so we should be pressing the pace. And the GSR is also second from the top. Don't want to start out with a 6-5 shot, but I don't know. Is it Chalktown or is it going to be Bombtown tonight? You tell me.
I think it might be Chalktown tonight. I think when we get to the pick 5 discussion, we might be talking about $5 tickets versus 50-cent tickets, because there's a couple horses that I think kind of lay over the field. So we're going to have to figure that out. A horse I think gets upgraded a little bit is Nancy Said So, the 7 on the off track. You got Cajun Breeze out of a Concerto mare. The Tomlinson for this horse is 480 on a wet track and runs its career best buyer over a wet track as well. So I think the 7's a little bit interesting here when we get the off track. That would be the other one I kind of look at as a price. But for me, I think this race goes through the 3 horse. And then, I think the 5 and the 7 are the logical 2 for second and third.
I would agree with that. So let's get off to a nice start here. The pick 5 will start in race 5. And so me and Mike are going to give you your opinions on that. I've already put a ticket together, so we'll get to that. It looks like they're kind of trying to get back towards the gate now. Mike, who did you sit with at NHC this year?
It was a blast, man. We had a great table. I sat with Tyler and Alan Hoffman, who are two known tournament players out in California. They won Santa Anita events to be able to get in. Ronald Dr. Tang, so we call him Doc. And he was he is well known on the online circuit. He's won quite a few tournaments out there out on the online circuit in California, the Win Place ones. And thank you everyone for the congratulations. I really do appreciate it. And then I was also sitting with Scotty and then Ryan and I. So Ryan and I played BCBC 2020 together, had an absolute blast. We've hung out since. And then Scotty and I obviously played last year at NHC and had a great time. So it was the 6 of us at the table, and it was awesome, man. One of the best parts about NHC and BCBC really is the camaraderie. I mean, we were at the same table last year, and you're just rooting for everyone at your table to do well. And when someone starts to get hot, everyone just kind of chips in and helps out. And toward the end of day 2, I have everyone else updating the leaderboard for me, telling me where I am, what I need to win day 2, what I need to make the money, so that I don't have to be worried about that. He's the one who's oh yeah, hey, what's up, Rodney? Congrats, thank you very much, I appreciate it. And so, yeah, it's just awesome. It's awesome when you get to be in that experience and get to kind of sit through it. And it's crazy.
It's really hard to describe, because doing well in that tournament, I think, is harder than any live money tournament. I mean, it's win place. You have 10 optional, 8 mandatory for 3 days straight. I mean, you're betting 18 races a day at 7 different tracks. It's chaos. It's pandemonium is what it is. And so to be able to focus, let's talk a little about your strategy. Did you try to focus in on a couple of tracks, or did you look at every possible opportunity at every track?
I did not cap Fairgrounds either day, because I don't ever cap Fairgrounds. So I was just like, you know what? If a bomb comes home there, so be it. I'll cap the mandatories and not worry about it. And I didn't cap Golden Gate ahead of time, because I knew I would have time, especially toward the latter part of that card, to be able to handicap it. So I focused on the tracks that I thought I could do good at. Laurel, I didn't give a ton of time to, but a lot of time at Aqueduct, a lot of time at Gulfstream, a lot of time at Oakland, a lot of time at Santa Anita. And yeah, I mean, Rodney mentions, like, right after I hit the 2, so this was at Santa Anita, this was race 6. I still had 3 mandatories left, and there were only 5 races left. And so I was really focused on, okay, where can I do this? How can I play this? And it was crazy.
Yeah. All right. Looks like the 8 went out and grabbed the lead. The pace number was 99 with an asterisk there. So pace number is pretty spot on there. The 4 was the 3rd in the pace number, but also a need the lead type. So not surprised that these 2 horses are dueling up front. The 8 is also the EE long shot at 7-1 here. Looks like our 3, the jockey's taken out into the 4 path, thinking that they've got the best mare in the race. And so we'll see. They're going to have to pass this 8, though. Yeah, it looks like he's going pretty comfortable.
And the 3's not getting by that 4 very quickly. It's going to be interesting to see if this 8 hits a wall, because that's what it's going to need to take for this 3 to get by him. I was expecting the 3 to be a lot closer.
Then Lady Signature. Down the center, Barb's Gray Lion. It's Dark Trick.
Oh.
She's getting weary.
This could
Here's
get
Barb's
close.
Gray Lion with the final surge.
With the one.
Oh.
Held on there. It was a 44-1 coming in second there.
Barb's Gray Lion.
Start out with bombs. So not Chalktown tonight, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. The EE long shot play. So somebody had that in the chat. Let me look here. That was Andy. What about the 8?
There
what
we
about
go.
the 8, Andy? Maybe you should have talked louder. Come on, put it in caps next time when you have a single like that, Andy. Come on.
That horse just galloped over that slop too. He fired out, and that's where that EE number can be a big thing. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit at NHC, and Scotty and I were going over the pace numbers. And when you have multiple of those asterisks in the race, you got to take the fastest one if you're going to take any of them, because that horse is going to be able to get the lead versus the other horses that need the lead. So the 8 horse there being that 99 pace and having the asterisk and having other asterisk horses meant that, you know, if any of those those front runners made it, it was going to be that 8 horse.
Yeah, no gallop out at all by that 8.
No,
I mean she was completely spent, and you know, great ride there by using just enough. 4.5 absolutely hits that horse between the eyes. She did not want any further. I think 1 or 2 more jumps after the wire. That number 1 40-1 shot definitely would have gotten home. Looks like we got the 5
started at gallop out started at the 16th pole there. That's where the gallop out started.
Absolutely, nice, Andy. Great call there. If we go back and look here, we'll show the EE had 99 on the pace rating there, and the 4 just couldn't keep up. And so if we look, it's a 50 SOR. This horse is coming out of 58 groups against these. 62 SOR was the highest SOR in the field. Horse figured off a 10-1 morning line. The only algo that didn't really agree was the EE morning line. Thought the horse maybe would be bet to 20-1 by the public, but it was also a price play. So there you go. 4.5 furlongs. I'm telling you, they run this type of race at Keeneland. You got to be on the lead. And maybe the 3 doesn't like to pass horses. It looks like in the 3's career starts, other than last time out, hasn't really passed a horse in her life. So something to also consider there.
For sure. Definitely a gettable horse with the different equidage numbers that point you to it there.
All right. Ghostface is asking, what does the money bag on the 1 mean? The money bag means a price play. So that's where the system is saying that's a long shot play for that particular race. And so something to keep in mind. Hot jockey, hot trainer is where you see the little fireballs there. And so just pay attention to those. There was a couple of price plays. And if you look, if you just exacta box the price plays, my goodness, we're going to see what this is going to pay. I mean, you had a 7-1 shot over a 40-1 shot. This is going to pay stacks. Yeah. So, there we go. That was my $5 pick 3. Let's go. Nice job, Andy. The good thing is he beat an odds-on favorite and a 9-5 shot. And so third choice at 7-1 was a great find there, Andy. So maybe not Chalktown tonight.
Let's hope not.
So we'll have about 15 minutes probably till race 4. So me and Mike want to help you guys out with capping the late pick 5 here at Charlestown. How much of a carryover do we have today? It was like 30,000.
32,000, and this is a low takeout bet, so 12% takeout with a 50 cent base wager. So you can spread in here if you find a single or two that you want to single, and it's a low takeout with a nice carryover. So this pool should get to, I mean, based on the takeout, you should get this pool around 250, 300,000 before you have a negative expected value on any bet you make into it. So it's a great pool to be playing tonight. And I bet this thing gets hammered because we have cancellations left, right, and center. So anyone who's betting horses are playing Charlestown tonight.
No, absolutely. And, you know, always friendly to the horse player and the gambler when you do have a carryover because it essentially lowers the takeout, the effective takeout, at least. This is what we like about mandatory payout days. It's what we like about carryovers is, you know, the net takeout is going to be a lot more friendly to us. Congrats again, Andy. Nice hit from Oldie. What did that pay? We're going to see what that's going to pay. Nice cash there. Mike, I spent $72 on my ticket here. Not breaking the bank on it, but, you know, trying to spread a little bit. I always try to find one single in my sequence at least. And, you know, if I'm playing a pick 5, you know, it's always nice to get down to the last leg and just rely on one single. It's like, okay, I made it. Let's not screw this up. Rather than singling the first leg and saying, hey, I'm tossing away my ticket if this one doesn't win. So hopefully we at least make it to the last leg here. I went 1-4-5. What I looked at is what I always do is I sort by pace number first. And as we saw in the last race, you want to be within a length or two of the lead. I'm sorry. If you get a closer on this track, good luck. So King Nakia is a 65 pace number, 41% win, 5-2 EE morning line with a top EE pick as well, and also tied for the top GSR. So number one, King Nakia is going to be tough to beat. My second choice was Wall here. This horse doesn't have a whole lot of speed. We got a hot jockey though, but I looked at the race 2 back where the horse really picked up a lot of ground. And so, if this horse can kind of get a nice trip, and if we can get some speed dueling up front where it does pace collapse, we got to remember it's a 2-turn, 6.5 furlong race at Charlestown. So if there is some speed up front, I felt like the 5 was going to be the horse that could pick up the pieces. And then I also included the 4 Hobie Sound, not just because that's pretty much where my family lives, Hobie Sound, Florida. But, I looked at the races that this horse was coming out of, and I thought the horse faced just much better. And so I always like taking class droppers into consideration when I'm spreading in the first leg. So I went 1-4-5 in leg 1.
I agreed with you. I actually singled leg 8, and I didn't use your single in leg 9, which is always interesting.
Right.
There. I added the 2 horse here. I think it. So I agree with everything you said on those 3 horses. I think the 2 Dr. Devera's Way is interesting as well. This is one that was racing at the races at Parks and Belmont and Aqueduct are all good enough to win this. Now, it got claimed, or it changed barns from the Michael Pino barn here to the Jones barn. Jones about 12%, so not bad. Not great, but not bad. Those last 2 races were a $30,000 allowance at Charlestown and an $8,000 claimer at Laurel. I'd make the argument this is your biggest class dropper in the race because that $8,000 Laurel claiming level is significantly better than what the $6,250 claiming level is here at Charlestown. And then you also have that horse coming in from Parks. Its only try over Charlestown faced much better, but it was 3-1 in an open $30,000 allowance here at Charlestown. Just 3-1. So for me, I think this horse is awfully interesting dropping into this. And I would argue that this is the easiest field this horse has faced his career. And so that's why I wanted to include the 2 at a 10-1 morning line.
No, great points there. And, sometimes you can get overlooked a horse like the 2. And so, maybe, Mike, did you use anybody besides the 3 that I used, or were you going slim here?
I'm going 4 deep in this spot. I think this is one of the more contentious races. I went 1-2-4-5. So I'm using just over half the field here, or I'm using exactly half the field here. I would consider the all button if you like 2 singles, because my kind of rule of thumb is once you go over half the field, you got to consider the all button, because going from 4 to 8 is the same going from 1 to 2 on these tickets. And now the thing is that I don't love the 8, I don't love the 7. So that for me really kind of narrows it down. And Ace, we'll definitely post ours here at the end. Yeah. Anyone who's playing, throw your tickets out too as we go through here. Talk what horses you like, so that we can kind of all follow along and kind of make the overall group ticket as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's race 1. And so it looks like me and Mike are pretty much in agreement. Let us know what you guys think in the chat, especially Andy tonight, because it sounds like Andy has Charlestown figured out. We threw an idea out there, guys. Let us know. Send us a message. We almost did a golf stream show today, midday. So if you guys maybe want to see us do that sometime, where we have a snow day, and Mike doesn't have snow days, but I do. Actually, do you have like salt trucks and like plows in North Carolina, or do you guys just deal with it?
1 plow. Not even kidding. What's the point? Just like, what's the point? We've got the sun. That's our plow.
There you go. There. Another congratulations to Mike.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Oh, he wants to expound upon your Oaklawn race 3.
Oh, yes. We can go through that. So if you want to switch to last Sunday.
Okay. So that would have been the 29th.
The 30th.
30th. Okay.
Go to Oaklawn race 3. This is one of the best angles I have found on Equinedge. And this first off was a race where the 2 favorites were they were 0 for 24 lifetime. It's a maiden race. So if you click on the 10 horse, right, all the way down there. All right, so 62 GSR, up from a 55 GSR. So when you have a jump like that, and the strength of race is dropping massively, so a 14-point strength of race drop and a 7-point GSR climb, it means the horse should run significantly better, should like this distance. And this was specifically a sprint race going to a route race, and the horse is much more better bred for routing. So you have a horse doing what he's better at against a group that is much worse. When I see the kind of flips from that, especially when it's a second-time starter who has the ability to take big-time steps forward, I'll look at those horses a long time. And that's what led me to this 10 horse here, was that we had a big-time drop in SOR, a big-time jump in GSR, and it was a second-time starter.
And look at the live odds, 33-1. I think
was
I saw the video of you guys cheering this horse home.
That
and
was
I was kind of upset that I wasn't in the room cheering it on with you.
Ironically, that was a 3-1 shot at Gulfstream. That's what we heard. I'm sorry, at the Golden Gate to win day 2. That was when we were able to win day 2.
So this was the cap horse.
This was the capper
obviously.
that got me to the final table on Sunday morning.
Just a $68 win and a $32 place. No big deal.
Second to last bullet. No big deal.
It's like bat and cleanup, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Rising from the grave again. One more time.
All right. We'll head back to Charlestown then and get back to the pick 5. Here's putting in my budget right here again so we can get this back up. I was at Gulfstream. I was in the paddock for pretty much every race. And so we had great access. Shout out to everybody. You know who you are. That made that experience just fantastic. And I thought we were going to see the match race of the decade. It wasn't like that great of a race. It was cool. It was impressive, but I was really hoping that Nick's Go and Life is Good. We're just going to absolutely bang heads for about 6 furlongs and then see who was going to give in. But we didn't get that. We just found out that Life is Good is the monster that everybody thought he was.
Yep. I think that's really the takeaway, right? Life is Good could be a generational special horse. Like we were talking about, the last horse that you want to see Life is Good face, we're talking about Frosted and that Met Mile performance and have Life is Good go up against him. Mm-hmm. You talked about Justify in his races, but you never really got to see him after that. So you're not, after the Triple Crowns, you're not really sure. American Pharaoh's Classic. I mean, you're reaching to start talking about horses that could compete with him.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I guess I was just absolutely shocked that Stiletto Boy outbroke both of them, and Life is Good kind of broke flat-footed. And so, I mean, Nick's Go just had no early juice or speed or anything up front. You know, he was just kind of a dud. He still ran second, barely. Yeah. But, I mean, there was probably a few bridge jumpers that were absolutely holding their breaths that pounded the exacta that paid $2.40 for Nick's Go to hold on for second. But, man, that was just surprising that Joel really wasn't aggressive. And he kind of got cut off going into the first turn, you know, when they had the rider change for whatever happened with Kent to Jose Ortiz. It was kind of like, oh, I forgot we're at Gulfstream and I forgot the Ortiz brothers are in town.
Yeah, they're just dominating over here. All right, so second race in the pick 5 sequence here at Charlestown. Mm-hmm. Looks like you went 1, 2, 3.
I went 1, 2, 3 here. I like I always do, separate by pace. We have another 99 pace figure here on Bahamian Girl, which is a familiar face because this horse raced at Gulfstream time and time again. And so we've definitely got the back class on this horse, and we definitely have the speed. So I actually thought about singling this horse, but I didn't. We got 25% win off a 5-1 morning line, and we've got absolutely killer speed here. And so we got 3% jockey in this Jan Moreno. And so, you know, the second choice looked pretty tough as well. You know, which is going to be the 3 here, which is actually going to be the first choice. Bred by Windstar Farm, very tactical, is going to sit in behind this one horse. And so I didn't want this horse to beat me because I felt like, you know, this horse could also get a trip if there's some speed up front. But according to the EE pace numbers, this one should be absolutely loose in the lead. And I don't know. I kind of want to single the horse.
I wouldn't blame you singling it, especially what we just saw. 6.5 is a little different, obviously, than going 4.5. Speed's better at 4.5 than 6.5 at Charlestown. For me here, I use the 1, the 2, and the 7. I'm sorry, the 1, the 3, and the 7. So I'm going to try and avoid the 2 horse altogether. There's a EE 7-1 morning line, but if you flip over to the
scratched. Looks like the 7 scratch. Was that a late scratch?
It must have been then. Yeah. So I'll probably end up using the 1, 2, 3 here then. I agree with you on that. If you look at the morning line, the morning line is flipped from the E morning line, which is awfully interesting too. So the 2 horse is 6-5, and the 3 horse is 9-2. And when you look at E's morning line, it flips from that, and it's basically the opposite, 4-5 and 7-2, with the 3 being favored. So I'm going to end up with the 1, 2, 3 here. I'm probably going to play pressed tickets, where I'm going to start out that first race with just the 2 and the 4. And then this second race here, I am most likely going to play just the 1 and the 3 and see if we can get around the 2 horse, who's supposedly going to be the favorite. We'll see what happens, though.
Yep. No, absolutely. So it looks like we're in agreement here. 1, 2, 3. If I was playing like a $2 ticket, I would totally single Bahamian Girl here and see if I could maybe just deal this one on the front end at a 5-1 morning line. And we'll see what kind of live odds we get on Bahamian Girl.
I bet the live odds are pretty good. I think the 2 and 3 are taking money here.
Yeah. No, I mean, and when you see that much of a differential, like you talked about at Oaklawn, the cap horse you hit, you're looking for a major differential in one of the algos. So what we look for is if we're switching surfaces or if we're switching distances, and I'm jumping from like a 60 GSR up to an 80. That's a huge jump. Even a 10-point jump is a huge jump to where we are looking to improve here because this is what this horse was bred and meant to do. And so when we're looking at the pace number, and I've got, I mean, a 37-point advantage over the next fastest horse.
It's big.
I mean, that is absolutely insane.
Especially
going 6.5.
Especially when you then sort by SOR.
Mm-hmm.
And SOR, we have the top SOR. And then you sort by GSR. And we were the fourth GSR, but it's 1 or 2
points off.
I mean, a lot of signs point to the one way outrunning the 5-1 morning line odds.
Sure. And one thing we can talk about is sprinter speed versus route speed. And so Bahamian Girl shows this kind of speed going 8 furlongs. And so that tells me that this horse is going to have the stamina to get home. And really, that was part of my deciding factor in the Pegasus was, okay, we got Nix Go, who's 1.125 mile speed, 2-turn speed, where Life is Good. I'm like, man, is he still a sprinter? Is he a sprinter that just kind of hangs on because he's loose? And I'm like, man, if maybe he faces pressure, and I couldn't have been more wrong. And I shoved all in on the contest on Nix Go.
I tried to talk you out of him.
I know you did. I know you did. I was at the Pegasus with 5 buddies, including my dad. And I was like going over the scenarios, guys. I was like, hey, we can kind of lock this in. This is a 2-horse race, or we could try to win the contest. And I've been on Nix Go for like the last 4 or 5 days. I was on Life is Good before I was back on Nix Go. Yep. But I changed the picture of the horse that's above my desk in the office as soon as I got back on Tuesday. I went to the house, I got Colonel Liam, and I took Nix Go down and put Colonel Liam right back up. So
I mean, I get it, man. I'm not gonna. I'm in the market for some Wolfie's Dynaghost memorabilia. If anyone's got a saddlecloth or something out there, you got to let me know.
Ray Lou, if you're watching, send Mike some Wolfie's. He could use it. So, all right, we can do the third leg here, and then we'll go handicap race 4 at Charlestown.
Sounds good. They're still in the paddock.
Yep, race 7 here. Start optional claiming, another 4.5 furlong sprint. Looks like we got a lot more speed signed on for this race here. The number 4, the EE long shot, Impetuous, is another 99. I mean, these are speed balls here going 4.5. You're getting 12-1 EE morning line, 13% win, and also the highest GSR horse in the field. And so I was not about to leave the 4 off of my ticket like I did the 8 in race 3 because this is kind of the same horse, in my opinion. Behind the 4, we've got the 6 and the 8 who are also going to be pressing, which are going to take the chalk. We got 4-5 EE on To the Front and 3-1 on Black Candy, 48% and 28% respectively, with 83 and 93 pace numbers. And so my long shot play to go steal this thing on the front end was Impetuous. Where'd you land here?
I went too deep. Similar ideas here. I look, To the Front has been dominant. Won the last 3 at Charlestown, beaten the 6 Black Candy all 3 of those times. So I feel like covering the you don't need to use both the 6 and the 8, right? If you're using the 8, the 6 kind of gets covered, and you can save a bullet by not using the 6. Of the new shooters, I agree with you. I think the 3 Impetuous is the one that has the best chance. So I ended up going too deep here. I like the fact we're also first off the claim. We're getting a jock switch. There's enough changing here that I think you could see the taxes change. The horse is just ultra fast. Was able to just hold on at a much worse level, but it has been competitive at the $30,000 allowance level, and we're dropping down to $10,000 not here. So I think that the 4 and the 8 kind of get you through this leg. The 8's a monster. He's been very good at Charlestown, but I agree. I want the horse that's in front. And I think that's going to be the 4. Look at that.
And we know that this 8's going to be odds on. And so if you don't single the 8, you probably don't want to go more than 1 or 2 deep here trying to beat the 8. Just if you're going to use the 8 defensively in your ticket structure. And
I'm going 4-8 on the 50-cent ticket. I'll be singling the 8 on any press ticket. I mean, this is to me like this is one of those chalks. I just don't think you try and take a big swing against it. And so I'm not going deep at all in the 50 center, and then I'm singling in the pressed.
Yep. If we didn't have such of a speed bias, I'd probably be looking at the 5 Interesting Legacy here. This horse is about a third of their morning line. And so I thought that, that's a huge algorithm that I definitely look at. If we toggle the morning line odds here, 15-1 on the track morning line, 5-1 on EE, but we've only got 3% win. We don't have a whole lot of speed here. And so maybe this horse in a different spot. Not today though.
Look at the GSR too. If you go to the internal GSR, he's a 56 for today's race. If you go to what races he'd been running at, so if you go back to that previous few, he'd been running 6 furlongs and 6.5 and 5 furlongs, all of those higher GSRs. So we're going from a 65 and 61s down to a 56. So he's going to like to do this less than what he has been doing. And he's been running at a little bit higher levels, right? 12.5 claimer, 16 claimer, 16,000 start allowance. But he's not been really doing much there. And now he's doing something worse. He doesn't want to shorten up based on the pedigree analysis from Equinedge. And so as you see that GSR drop, the shorter they go, it makes you wonder if he's going to be able to kind of get to the front in time.
No, good points there. We still got 4 minutes to Charlestown, which means we probably have still 12 minutes to go.
They're calling riders up right now, so we should probably.
Are they calling riders up? Yeah.
Like
let's talk about Pegasus real quick here. While we have a second, I believe it was 29th, wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah, be 29th.
So if we go here, how about that? Just take the top 3 picks. Life is Good over Knicks Go over Stiletto Boy. I mean, the payout was only $3.90, but that might have been the only way to make money off the race. And if we sort by the pace figure here, Life is Good at a 99, Knicks Go to 96. I guess Stiletto Boy was the real surpriser there that showed some speed. And I know you thought maybe Endorsed was the one that would do some running late. And so this all was pretty logical. I was of the camp where if Knicks Go didn't get the lead, I didn't think he was probably going to finish in the top 2. And so I was kind of scared to play the exacta. I had thought that maybe Life is Good would sit, but obviously he didn't. I know you were on Life is Good. Did you have anything on this race or?
This was a race that I just passed in the tournament. I was alive to the pick 5 and some pick 4s to Life is Good, but it paid like $58. It was not a exciting pick 5 to hit. We'll leave it at that. But it was one I had a couple times, but not enough to make it interesting. Look, Life is Good, I think, is the best horse in training right now. I've been on that kick for about a month and a half here. And the only way Life is Good loses is if something freaky happens in the race the rest of the year before he retires. I don't think this horse loses another race. We'll win a couple grade 1s, win the classic, and then we'll retire him at the end of the 4-year-old season.
Bring it on, Flightline, because this horse is faster. I'm sorry.
Flightline had a vet visit last week, so hopefully we get Flightline back. We're waiting to hear back the news on whether or not we're going to see Flightline for the rest of the year because he went to the vet, I believe it was last Saturday. So hopefully we get Flightline back because he does look like
maybe in every 6 months or so, but we're about used to that by now. So all right, here we go. We got a maiden special weight at Charlestown, race 4, starting the pick 6, but no carryover like there is in the pick 5, and so we're just going to go over this race individually. Favoritism going to Jackson Takes Long, the 6 horse at even money. EE says he should be 6-5. And so, I mean, here's another chalky Charlestown. Can we beat this 6 horse, Mike?
I think it's going to be tough. Unfortunately, I wish I had some creative move here. But I do have the 6 on top. I thought that, the 6's last few races were just kind of head and shoulders over this field. And this is one of those spots where it's like, okay, you got to decide how you're going to play the race. I'm going to play this race as a Colt Exacta race to me. The last 2 efforts seem to be like the best from the 6 here. I believe the 6 should get the lead, which is obviously something we want. The barn's 48% currently at the meet. The jock's 42%, combining for 41%. So that's all pretty darn good. And this horse is coming in from Laurel, where it was making the lead or close to it, going a mile at Laurel. So this is a significant drop in class to be going from even $25,000 maiden claimers into these Laurel races. So for me, I thought the 6 was going to be really tough in this spot.
Yep, I would agree with all that. I went with a 10, Curlin's Malibu. I think you're going to give this horse an excuse last time out. We were in the 7 and 8 path and dueled for 3rd. And so that was the first time starting. You're going 4.5 furlongs. You don't want to be that wide. And so I'm going to give the 10, Curlin's Malibu, another chance. EE likes it at 33% win. So I think the system's forgiving. 70 GSR, which leads this field. And also, a moderate amount of pace. There's not a ton of pace in this race. So I see these horses a lot more bunched up, where this horse can maybe just get a clear path and make one run in the stretch. And one thing I'm going for here.
One thing that's important too when you're looking at GSR, that doesn't automatically flip to sloppy track. So if you click on the 10 Curlin's Malibu there and then GSR Plus, and you scroll down, you can see where he's a 62 over a wet track at this distance. So our GSR is about 8 points lower. That's one of the reasons people are mentioning the 11 in the chat. If you click on the 11 here, Dude and Jumper, who's right above the 6, I believe it is. if you scroll down to his wet number, click over to wet. There you go. He steps up over the wet track. And so he is a 64 from his original 55. So you see a big time jump there in the wet GSR for the 11. And that's one of the reasons I know people in the chat are commenting on it. And why is, I think it's 31 morning line or 8-1 morning line right now. He's sitting on the board at 7-1.
So you're getting a little bit better price on the 11. What I mainly look for when I'm looking at GSRs is I'm looking at sprint or routing, not necessarily 6 furlongs versus 7 furlongs. And so if we look at the 11, he's a 64 at 6.5, and he's a 71 at 7. He's an 83 at 7.5. All those races are pretty much long sprints. And so at Charlestown, it's 2 turns. So as long as it's close, what I'm really looking for, if it's 5 to 6 to 7 furlongs, I consider that sprint GSR. Anything above 7, I'm considering a route GSR. And so when I go back to the 10 here, I thought we kind of had a similar situation when we go wet is, half a furlong away, the horse is a 9-point higher GSR on the wet track. So I looked at a 71 there. I think that's still sprinting. So a lot of times I'll take the average of about 3 or 4 GSR numbers from about 5 to 7 furlongs. Just because, their mom and dad were specialists at 5.5 doesn't mean this horse can't get 6, things like that. So look at the wet numbers. The wet numbers are important, especially on a day like today, wet numbers and speed. And so looks like we are getting closer to the gate now.
3 to 5 here on the 6 seems a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe the barn's betting. Who knows?
Let's check out the doubles here and see if we can get, or the exactas and the doubles, see if we can get any will pays that are decent moving forward. The exacta 611 exact is paying $14 for a buck right now. That's pretty good, especially if you don't like it. Like if you look at the 11 instead of the 10, the 10's paying 6, the 11's paying 14. The 11.6 exact is paying $28 for a buck. That's awfully good too. So I kind of like playing those 611 doubles. And then the 6 with the 2 is a $30 double, which is kind of enticing to me at that number. The 1, which is the horse that you were thinking about singling there, and I'm sorry, you were singling in the second race. The 1 is a $9 double, and the 5 is an $11 double. So there's a little value there if you want to look at the doubles as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. On Pegasus Day, I played 2 entries in that Express Bet tournament, and we were looking at will pay doubles all day long. Because my 2 plays on one entry, I played daily doubles, and on the other entry, I played exactas. And man, the daily doubles were super chalky, but the favorite won the last 6 races. I have never been at the track where the favorite, at least the post-time favorite, won the final 6. And Life is Good edged out Knicks Go by about 30, 40 grand in the pools for the final race to go favored there. But that was wild to see. I mean, I've never seen a big day so formful like that.
Well, we were talking about the NHC scores were a little bit lower than past years. So 155, I believe, 155.40, something like that was the cutoff. In past years, it always been between 160 and 180. I think one of the main reasons was Gulfstream Park. So there was a couple races there were 4 races, I think, that were mandatory, and that produced Wolfie's Dynagos. Outside of that race, there was no price that came home.
Beautiful Lover was like 7-2.
And I think
4-1 maybe, but that was the second highest price.
And I think a lot of people were using Gulfstream as optional races because they're competitive, big fields, and it's chalk out. And I think that definitely took a lot of bullets away from people because they were trying to find prices at Gulfstream, and they just never came in.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Kind of similar to when we played NHC in August, where it was Traverse Day. You had Essential Quality, you had Jackie's Warrior. You had a few other chalks that day where everybody was trying to figure out where we're going to get our prices from. And I think, didn't one track cancel the rest of their card? Was it Monmouth that canceled? If I'm trying to remember right, there was one track that canceled halfway through. It said, hey, you can no longer play races here.
I wouldn't be shocked. It's tough, man. We lost Aqueduct for the second and third day. And so you have cancellations are kind of normal out there, and you just got to kind of roll with the punches and figure it out. Mm-hmm. So what everyone ended up playing here? We're getting ready to head to the gate here. I played the 611 exacta. Let's see what else we got here. Anybody else play anything in the chat? Brady, did you fire anything off here?
I didn't, but my 10's taking money, 9 to 5 now, and so I think that the public's giving this horse a second shot. And so it looks like we're down to 6, 10, 11 here. I don't know. I couldn't use the 6 and the 10 together. And so if I was going to do anything, I would just hope that the 6 was going to maybe pass out halfway through the race, and I could get maybe a 10-11 exacta coming through. But we'll see what happens. This track is absolutely sloppy. I mean, this looks like Derby Day 2018. But I mean, this is a slop fest. So, all right, John's got the 410. Looks like Brian's got the 11 over the 6th, the 6, 10, 11 try. Chuck's got the 11 over the 1 double.
I like that.
So time to get everything in before post time here. Yeah, it's been hard to find races because Turfway was planning on running, but they're not running. Oaklawn canceled their card through the weekend, and Sam Houston canceled the night. If it's cold in Texas, it's cold everywhere.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of funny on Pegasus Day. It's very bougie, and everybody's dressing up and everything. I saw more people in coats than I've ever seen in South Florida, Miami area. And it's great because I'm from Indiana, and I don't know, maybe my blood's just different. But I had like a very thin sweatshirt on and jeans, and I'm like, man, this feels great. And it was great. Awesome. The horses enjoy that weather too. Yep. They don't want it to be too hot. So my angle was, if I see a horse sweating in 50-degree Florida weather, that's a huge sign. But life is good with sweating. He had so much kidney sweat. But I heard Todd Pletcher say in an interview that that's just how he is. He just gets worked up before the races. And so I know a lot of people would automatically say, oh, no, that's a terrible sign. But yeah, I mean, looks like we're going into the gate now. I will say Colonel Liam looked like $10 million in the paddock. A horse off of an 8-month layoff like that. I didn't expect him to fire like he did, but from the backstretch, it looked like the race was never even in question.
That field, I mean, I thought you put it beautifully. That was a grade 3 field, and he's like a low grade 1, high grade 2 horse in my mind. And that is just a great spot for him. And he looked awesome, man. It looked like there were 4 or 5 horses that had a chance turning for home, and really it was just one.
Yep. No, absolutely. And glad they put that Fillion Mare Pegasus turf race that Regal Glory absolutely romped with not the best trip. I mean, that was very, very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, Regal Glory not breaking and then being able to just sweep the field and win by 5 or 6 was amazing.
I heard she was supposed to go into her second career, but then they're kind of reconsidering now. It's like, hey, is this the next Sister Charlie? Maybe.
She was. They had put a deposit down, I think it was, or they were planning to breed her into Mischief, and they decided that they're going to scrap that and run her one more year, which is awesome. Yeah. That's great. Can't wait to see her in Saratoga.
I wonder if Peter Brandt's going to get his deposit back, man. Probably the same chance that we did in college and when we rented that apartment about getting the deposit back. So, all right. Looks like Oldie's taking a shot here on the 1 and is a 9-point GSR jump. First time dirt. Maybe this horse is a slot freak. We're going to find out here in about 20 seconds.
Looks like you can get 3-2 right now on either the 6 or the 10 as a win bet as well. Third choice on the board right now is the 11 Dude and Jumper, and then everybody else is 14-1 or higher.
Deb says she's a weekend player, teacher salary. Deb, teachers are some of the best handicappers I've ever met. So watch out for the teachers.
The patience with teachers is incredible, man.
It is. It is. All right, we're going to go 6-5 here on this 6 horse. We've got 8-5 on Mike Curlin's Malibu. Let's see who can go out and get the lead here and go 2 turns at Charlestown.
They're in the gate. And they're off.
Like everyone got away cleanly there.
The 1 was the only one that tried to jump the rail.
Leaving the gate and is last.
Sorry, Oldie. Unless he closes like Old Town Road did today at Gulfstream. My gosh.
That horse was shot on a freaking cannon.
I singled, and after the break, I was like, oh my gosh, the horse got checked. It didn't matter.
And that 11 got the worst of that first turn. Ended up having to go about 5 wide there.
Love that wind in 7th at the fence. They're joined outside by Quarantine.
Okay, so we got a 70-1 shot dueling with a 25-1 shot. This is great. The 6 is getting an absolute dream trip in and behind here.
Making Jason takes long.
I think that's the 6. Yeah, the 6 is in the lead.
Yeah, 6 is Tote was wrong.
Yeah,
6 is in the lead here.
And here comes the closers trying to make a move.
Yeah. 6 is going to be tough to pass. Where's my 10 at?
Begins to hit his stride and close in from 3rd.
That's the 10 and the 11 coming.
Yep. 10's on the outside.
the outside.
Looks like the 10's running for second, though, at this point.
And then up
Yeah,
the
I don't
looks
think
like
either-
Secretary.
as they round the far turn.
Question is, can we get the 11 up for the exactas? Is it going to be the 10?
Yeah.
Jason takes long off the turn and widening here.
I think we're
Jason
going
Wow.
6, 10, 11.
with a powerhouse.
That was good
performance
chalk.
with the 16
That
to
was
go.
good chalk.
All wrapped up by Arnaldo Bocachica.
And this
Jason
is
takes long.
15 lengths.
Destroyed
I'm
his
telling you, man, when
competition by a
horses-
dozen lengths.
The one got
Carlos
third.
Valadez
Wow.
for second.
That one
That's-
was tail off.
Upgrade the
Third.
one next time.
Absolutely huge
That's
to get
amazing.
to third of
Anytime
that.
you have speed at other tracks coming to Charlestown,
Mhm.
it is so deadly because if they get out there, they're so hard to catch. This one's making the lead
yeah.
going a mile at Laurel. It just makes him ultra tough up front.
Mm-hmm. I think of Charlestown Big Day. Art Collector just absolutely romped at that
Mhm.
track. Our Adios Jersey, speed horses from other tracks. So
Yep.
put that in your notebook, guys, when you're betting Charlestown. So even money looked like easy money right there. I mean, that horse should have been 1-9. That performance was sensational.
I'm kicking myself for not just betting the 6 to win. To try and get cute and go 6.
Trying to get
6,
too
11.
fancy.
Yeah.
How do
it's
you,
like,
how do you
oh,
feel about that? I've been backing my bets up lately, and I've never done that in the past. I single. Like when I play tries, I never use more than 1 or 2 horses. And
Yep.
same thing with pick 3s. If I'm playing a pick 4, pick 5, I might go a couple deep. But I don't know. I'm of the camp where I am handicapping the race. I am very confident in my opinions. I'm going to press them rather than trying to catch a piece all the time. And so how do you feel when you say, hey, I'm going to play a 6 over the 10-11 over the 10-11 try, and then I'm not going to bet the 6 to win? Because then you always feel like crap when your 6 wins, and then the 1 at 45-1 gets third.
10.
Well, for me, I was coming into this race expecting to play a 6-3 exact and a 3 scratched, and so then not to just I pivoted to the 6-11. I should have just hammered the 6 to win because that was the horse I actually liked in the race versus trying to get a little bit cute and try and like. But again, 14-1 is a pretty good price I thought on that exacta. Let's see what it actually went off at. So to me, the exacta price was what got me a little bit there, and kind of wish I had strayed away from it. Yeah, because the exacta was 10-1. I mean, that's which I still think is a good price on the 6-11 exacta. That the 11's trip around the first turn just took him out of the race. So you can't be 5 wide in this track and be able to retain the same amount of speed.
Yeah. So good call on that one there, Oldie. I think that horse clearly would have gotten second had they not tried to jump over the rail 2 jumps out of the gate. But maybe play that horse back next time. So there you have it. 6-10-1-2. Chalktown tonight. We'll go back and finish up our pick 5. Here we are. We're going to go to race 8 here.
Yep.
And so we got our ticket so far. Charlestown race 8, fillies, 3-year-olds, going allowance 6.5 furlongs on the dirt here. Pace number looks like we have another one similar to the first race in Castle Lights. 7-1 morning line with an 88 pace number that is a need the lead type. And so, that's key for us. But we're going to have the favorite breathing down our necks, Whale of a Time, 42% win, 80 on the pace number, second top pick in the system. Mike, where did you end up here? I went 5, 6, 7 on my ticket, trying to give me a couple of speed horses. And then if one in Amy's Jubilee could pick up the pieces late, I felt like that was the next logical horse.
Yeah, I ended up with 6, 7, 8 here, and I'm probably gonna try and single the 6 on some of the press tickets, or just go 6, 7 on some of the press tickets. I think the 7's one that you kind of have to use because I do think you have a clear speed advantage with the 7, who should be able to get out front and kind of take this field as long as he can, as far as he can, as fast as he can, as far as he can. We'll see if it's actually be able to get to the wire. But to me, the 6 horse was the top pick here. I thought that the 6, and again, it's kind of one of those spots where I'm going to play $5 tickets here because I am chalking out a little bit. But this horse had won in the maiden special weight level, came back in an allowance downwards of 3, was $1.80 second choice, ran well, just kind of got outpaced, and just that's pretty much all you can say, right? Chased a horse that was the favorite the whole way around, was 4.5, 5.5 lengths back, cut that distance down to 2. This time you have this horse, Whale of a Tail, who I think is going to chase a little bit better. A little concerned we've never passed a horse. I mean, we talked about that last time, but I'm willing to.
Neither had Nick's go.
I'm willing to forgive a horse that this is the 3rd time the horse has run. It was clearly the best horse in debut, and then last time out, it faced a horse that just ran away from the field, right? So I'm not going to blame it for not passing a horse, especially since it closed ground last time. So I do think the 6 is the class of the field here. As you can see, the 42% win percentage also kind of points toward that. But I think taking a shot with a 7 going wire to wire isn't a bad idea either.
Yeah, that's where I landed on top was the 7 Castle Lights. And so we won against weaker last time. But I like to see W's. There's some horses like today in race, was it 3 or 4? There was that 0 for 19 maiden at Gulfstream today that finally won with Luca Panici getting up. And so, it's never too late to get your first win. Keep on trying. But, a horse like this, we won at weaker, was bet. I'm just hoping that this horse is taking a step forward and has a pace advantage. The 6 is going to be breathing down our neck. But, hey, 6.5 furlongs goes pretty quickly here at Charlestown. It's a muddy track. And I do worry about the 6 passing horses. And so that is a concern for me. Only 2 lifetime starts and has pretty much ran a 1-pace merry-go-round race in both of her starts.
Now, the one thing I will say to the 6's credit, I'm not positive the 6 is faster, or the 7 is faster than the 6 in this spot, or that they'll give up the rail position because of the draw. If you go back and look at the internal fractions, the last 2 races, the 6 ran 22-1, 22-2, and 46-3, 46-3 for those half miles. The 7 horse's fastest half mile is 47-1. So the 6 horse is faster than the 7 if you don't adjust for track variance, obviously. So sometimes tracks are faster or slower, but the half mile times, the 6 horse is faster than the 7 just from a pure numbers perspective. So I'd be surprised if the 6 gives up the rail to the 7. Now the 7's jock may just be wildly aggressive, and that's the difference here. But I would be surprised if the 6 gives up the rail openly without the 7 having to push.
Yeah, no, I agree. The 7 about 7 races back did go 22, 46-3 at Charlestown, going 4.5. And the advantage that the 6 has is it's coming out of 4.5 furlong races. So you have true sprinter speed versus route speed here at Charlestown, since 6.5 is a route. And so, we look at a lot of that in turf sprints when we're stretching out at Gulfstream. If you're coming out of a 5.5 turf sprint at Gulfstream and you're on the lead and now you're going a mile, you're super dangerous, because going a mile at Gulfstream on the turf is like going 6.5 anywhere else. So, my angle was the price on the 7 that I'm going to get, because it looks like we're going to get a Chalktown special on Whale of a Time. So take your pick there. The other horse that I had looked at, Mike, was Amy's Jubilee. This horse is shortening up just a little bit from last time out, coming off of a win against a little bit less. But what I liked was this horse could actually pass horses. And so that was huge for me. But tonight, with the sloppy track, it looks like almost nobody is making up ground, maybe besides that one in the last race. So if I'm playing an exacta here, I'm probably going to try to do something, 7 over the 5, 6 over the 5. I'm going to try to get this 5 to run second.
Yeah, I don't disagree. The 5, I think, is the other must use. So I'm probably going to leave the 7 off now that I've dived a little bit more into it. I think I'm just going to go 5-6 here. I would consider the 1 if the 1 was still in the race, but unfortunately lost the 1. I think the 6 is going to be the horse I want in the front. I think the 5 is the one that comes from off the pace. I would also, if I'm playing like cold exactas or cold tries, last time out, the 8 ran 2 lengths behind the 6. I think that you could pretty much predict the 8 is a length or 2 worse than the 6. So if you like the 6, using the 8 underneath, either cold or using the 5 in between them, I do think makes a ton of sense.
Absolutely. So there's race 8. I went 5, 6, 7. Looks like Mike's going 5, 6.
Yep.
And we'll move on to the final leg. How we're getting paid is a $5,000 claimer. Let's go. Going 7.
Why not?
7 at Chucktown. 44 SOR. Looks like the favoritism is going to go towards either the 5 or the 12. That's up for debate right now. EE has the 5 is actually the favorite, where the track morning line odds maker has the 12 as the favorite. So take your pick in a coin toss here. Mike, I ended up singling the 5, JJ's Widget Man.
Okay.
And so I was looking, it looks like this horse just absolutely figures at this level. It's not a class dropper. We're not jumping up on anything. We're running respectively. I'm thinking what's happening is he's picking off the runners that are moving up in class after winning the races he's been in. And so now he's finally facing a field he can actually beat at this level. And so really the only threat to me was the 12 Lefty's Kisses that's to the outside. And when you're going 7.5, 2 sharp turns, that's a 12 post. That's a tough post to come out of. Yeah. It's kind of like I look at Delmar with those tight turns. Nobody ever wants to be outside about post 8 or 9 at Delmar. And so it's the same thing at Charlestown. I don't want to be that far outside. If I had to pick one of the two, I'm going with the 5 because I like the post draw. I like the races he's come out of, and I like the current form.
Can I talk you off him? That's the question.
Good luck.
My biggest issue, 0 for 6 over a wet track. Never hit the board. And it's not just never hit the board. The last 3 times it's been over a wet track, lost by 10 lengths, lost by 10 lengths, and lost by 10 lengths. And so he's struggled going over the wet track. Now, the wet GSR is actually a little bit higher. But when you look at the actual record over the wet track, he is 0 for 6, which to me is a big-time concern when you're looking at this sloppy of a track. And I feel like 6 is enough of a sample size where, all right, now I'm a little concerned. Now, I'm not going to use the 5. I would definitely spread a little bit if I was you and try and single one of those other spots, because I'm concerned the 5 is not going to be able to handle this track very well. I had the 6 on top here, and I thought that the 6 was kind of set up well to run a nice race. I like the fact that we are tactical. We're able to pass horses because I do think there's going to be a little bit of speed sitting in front of this horse. Run on the wet track 4 times, got 1 win and 1/3. Has won at this level or very similar to this level, 3 back. It was going 7 furlongs. So I think everything kind of lines up for the 6 to run a pretty good race here. And then, like I said, likes the wet track, likes the distance. So for me, that's kind of the reason I ended up on the 6. I agree that the 12 was definitely one that you should consider. And I had the 12 as kind of that second horse for me. After that, I got a little kooky. I'm not going to lie. I like the 9 here at 20 to 1. This is another one where you run well at over the wet track, 3 races, 1 second, 2/3. This horse has been pretty well beat consistently, but went 1 1/16 miles a couple times ago and was able to close in a little bit. I'm hoping we can get kind of that stalking trip and be able to make a little bit of a move toward the end. And this one is one where you see that GSR returning to those higher levels. So I'm excited to see what we can do here if we can get a big time price home in the last. And then I agree with the Equinedge long shot. I kind of like the 8 too. Creative Mind Shaft. And this one, I love seeing that 11% win percentage too, because that's one of the things I think whenever you see a horse around 8 to 1, 10 to 1, that generally means that's a good horse that you can kind of get to. This one goes back to 2 back Colonial Speed, right? Last time out, 1/16 at Laurel. I'm playing horses back at bigger tracks that we're able to show speed, and I'm hoping that we can show speed against a lesser group here at a lesser track. And so that's why I kind of ended up on the 8.
There you go. Good cases for all those horses there. Looks like we got some love from Dr. Tang on the 9 as well. 1 second, 2/3, nice GSR. Can't disagree with that there. Final leg, how are we going to get paid in this $5,000 claimer? That's what it's all about. No, good call out on the 5. They're 0 for 6 over a sloppy track. We'll see if speed's just absolutely going to be king here tonight. Looks like we got a 50 to 1 shot potentially in the lead with the 6 that you're going to get a nice, decent 9 to 2 price on that should be right up there and maybe grab the lead from the 10. I can see the 6 on the lead for sure.
I love where the 6 and the 8 are going to sit. And with that 10 post, you just don't know. I mean, I might end up on the lead with one of those 2 horses, and I think they're both capable of winning. I wouldn't be shocked if the 8 sends after facing better and going longer against horses at like Laurel and Colonial and things like that. So again, it's that when horses ship in, I usually give them a big time upgrade when they're shipping into Charlestown, especially in the 6.5 and 7 furlong races that are the quote unquote routes there at Charlestown.
Yep. No, absolutely. Great points there. I'm going to change up my ticket just a little bit. I did really like the 1 Bohemian Girl in race in race 6, which is the second leg there. And I'm going to add the 6 here and relock my ticket.
There we go. I like it.
Boom. There we go. $27 is my ticket there. Mike, maybe if you want to put your ticket in the chat, or we can put it in a banner down below. We still got plenty of time before we go off race number 5 here at Charlestown. So we'll create these banners and get the tickets placed in there for our late pick 5s. Looks like it's going to be pretty economical. And, when I'm deciding on how much to play a pick 5 for, it depends on what I think it's going to pay. I work backwards usually.
Yep.
It's like, all right, what's the potential for this card? Is this opening day at Keeneland, or is this Charlestown on a Thursday night? So that's really how I make my decision. And so I think, $27 for my ticket. What'd yours end up costing, Mike?
I'm at 96 right now, so I got to decide
96.
if I want to spend that. I'll actually probably spend that on a 50-cent ticket in a carryover pool.
Yeah,
so
that's carryover you have to play.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna probably fire a few $100 into this thing. I'll probably fire about 400 into it after pressing tickets and things like that. But that's the bottom. That's the ticket that I'm looking at. My pressed horses would be the 1 and the 3 in the second leg, the 8 in the third leg, the 6 in the fourth leg. I'll probably spread a little bit, and I am a $2 ticket on the first and the fourth and the fifth leg. I think that's where the most competitive races are and where my weakest opinions are. But I'll definitely be pressing through the middle of this and hope that we can go 1, 8, 6 in that middle part of it, and then get some prices around them.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll leave that. We'll leave Mike's ticket up for a little bit here. Then I'll post my ticket once you guys screenshot or punch if you want to play along with Mike. If you want to play along with me, if you want to play both tickets, whatever. Let's just take a piece of this Charlestown Pick 5 tonight. I feel like the pool should be even a little bit better because there's really not a whole lot of other racing going on tonight. And so
I think this is going to be pretty good. I'm going to add your Pick 5 onto mine.
Yep.
But then we can do both of them, have them scrolling.
Absolutely. So we got 7 minutes to post, which is probably about another 12 or 13. So, guys, let us know. We're really thinking about maybe doing a midday golf stream show sometime because it never stops snowing up here in Indiana. So I've had the office closed the last 2 days. And so my office has been here at my house playing golf stream from a couch. We had a little card night with the boys last night, talking horses and everything, talking Pegasus. What's next for you, Mike? Are you you just got back from Vegas, so you're probably going to lay low for a while, but you going to hit up any tracks anytime soon? Or
yeah, I mean, we are about to go a little bit crazy here once we get through March. April is going to get nutty for me. So February and March aren't that big a travel for me, but I'm definitely going to play. And everyone, I highly recommend, if you get a chance to, play the Keeneland Grade 1 Gamble. So I'll be out there at Keeneland. That's April 23rd. It's a $3,000 buy-in, $2,000 bankroll. And you can qualify for that through horsetourneys.com. So that's a great one to get in. And one of the best reasons to get in that is it's got a BCBC and an NHC seat that you can win. So you can punch your tickets to both of the major events at one place. I think it was top 6 last year that did that. And Ryan Noddick is one of the guys who was sitting at my table who punched his second NHC seat and his first BCBC seat at that event. And that was a blast. It was a lot of fun. And I can't wait to be back there. Hopefully we're get a little more freedom when we get back there, since it was I don't think there was actual spectators. It was just us who were there for the contest that day. And then after that, the best tournament that you can go to, well, I'm going to go to the Derby. Pretty excited about that. And that's May. So I'm pumped to be able, that's be my first Derby. So pretty excited to go to the Derby.
Which is wild to me to think about that this will be your first Derby.
I've never been a big Churchill Downs guy. I mean, I've been there for Breeders' Cups, but I've never been a big Churchill Downs guy. And like, I love betting horses. It doesn't need to be the top level horses. You know what I mean? So like, I love betting horses, and it's crazy to me when it's 100,000 of your closest friends at the racetrack. I'd much rather go when it's, 15, 20,000, still get the excitement from the crowd, but you don't have to wait at every window. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then the other one that, like, honestly, if you've never played this before, if you want to go to NHC, if you love hearing the stories about NHC and the camaraderie and the tables and everything, Lone Star Park, man, that is the number one place, the best place that I think you can qualify for NHC. They've got a $2,500 tournament that's every Memorial Day. So I think it's May 30th this year, Monday, May 30th. But on Saturday and Sunday, they have $500 buy-ins that you can qualify for Monday's tournament for. But they also give out 2 NHC seats, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, so that you can win seats essentially all 3 days. I think it was 15 seats or 19 seats last year for on the Monday. So they gave away, I think it was 19 seats total. It was 15 seats on Monday. They gave away 19 seats. And the best part of it, and like, you'll love this, you get every dollar to bet that you pay in. So it's a $500 bankroll for a $500 buy-in. So there's no takeout with free seats added. Yeah, can't beat that, right? Like, every other track, you're giving away $1,000 to the prize pool. You're giving away X amount to the prize pool, right? At Lone Star Park, those 3 days, you're not giving anything away to the prize pool, but you have to play on site. So you got to make the trip to Dallas to be able to play those.
No, absolutely. That's a great tournament. I know you've played that in the past, and I know a lot of people that have qualified there that say, hey, we're going to Lone Star over Memorial Day weekend. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be a toss-up for me. I'm definitely going to the Grade 1 Gamble. I canceled 2 trips for that. I was supposed to go to France, but I'm like, I'm not going to get stuck in France because I hear you have to test negative, and then if you test positive, quarantine for 10 days. So I really don't going to go to France for 3 weeks just in case the worst happens. Then I was supposed to go to Arizona because I was just kind of waiting. I'm like, okay, the Grade 1 Gamble will probably be like mid-April. No, it's April 23rd. So I canceled Arizona. So I'm going to the Grade 1 Gamble. I'll see you there.
Love it, man.
That's a great tournament, man.
It is.
I'll definitely probably be at the Florida Derby this year, playing that contest. That's Ultimate Betting Challenge weekend as well. So March 5th. So definitely participate in that. Not sure if I'm gonna go to the Derby yet this year. Kind of impromptu. I'm going to Santa Anita next week.
Nice.
So I'll be at Santa Anita on Friday and Saturday. If any EE followers are out at Santa Anita next weekend, hit me up. Be at Gulfstream Park on Sunday, taking the red eye from Santa to Gulfstream. So go a little Eclipse Awards, Santa Anita Friday, Saturday, red eye to Gulfstream Sunday, Super Bowl, meet on Monday, and then head back on Tuesday back to real life. So if anybody's at Gulfstream.
I'm bummed I couldn't do the Eclipse Awards, man.
It's going to be fun. And it's Super Bowl weekend out in LA. And so, it's at Santa Anita, and which is not far from SoFi or the old Hollywood Park. And so that'll be cool, kind of feeling the atmosphere out there. Maybe we'll get some football people out of the track. But yeah, I haven't been at Santa Anita since last April, since Santa Anita Derby weekend when Rock Your World rocked everyone's world out there, including Baffert's 2 horses in the race that I may or may not have used. But but we got 2 minutes to Charlestown race 5. They're still circling in the paddock here. Just to recap, we thought that this one horse was going to be pretty tough to beat on the front end here. King Nakia, 2-1 now, 65 pace number. So still going with this horse as my top pick. Maybe I'll play a little double. Maybe I'll punch a little 1-1 daily double. I got to be getting a decent price on that, I would think. If we look at the will pays here, the doubles is paying about $15, 1-1. I'm going to punch it. So good luck to everybody out there if you play the pick 5 tickets.
It looks like the 2 is going to be a heavy favorite in the next race as well, based on the doubles. And we're both higher on the 1 and the 3 in that spot. So that'll be interesting to see what we can do there too. Let's see. Although, I mean, that's another example of one of those horses, that 2 horse that's coming in from Woodbine. So it's you're coming in from another track where you showed speed. And so that's always interesting to me when you're coming to this track and trying to see what you can do. But the 1 does have Gulfstream speed that we're coming in from. And so it's like Gulfstream speed's kind of faster than Woodbine speed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. The Woodbine horses are now running on synthetic at Gulfstream too. And so, you got certain trainers placing horses a lot better at Gulfstream now that there's 3 track options. And I really like that we're running on the turf now, finally, that we got through Pegasus week, and now they're carting these turf races, and we're actually not, raining off the turf, or we're not just going off the turf for no reason. And so we're actually going to see some good turf racing here at Gulfstream probably the next month or 2. But it's tough down there because South Florida growing grass and everything, and they put up that new big Jumbotron, which was amazing.
Was it?
Oh my God. It's like you can't even see the races for about a furlong down the backstretch. It's so big. So it's like they took after fairgrounds. It's like, hey, let's block out the races for about 10 seconds with like the trees. But no, it's awesome. But yeah, so looks like they're getting out onto the track now, onto the sloppy going. The 1 is who I like on top. 2-1, not a terrible price, not a great price. But if you are betting the daily double, it's paying $15 right now. In the probables, 1-1 into Bahamian Girl. And so that's what I like here. Oldie's like, yeah, we should do a show Gulfstream midday or something. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe like next week sometime. Yeah,
maybe we do a Thursday or Friday golden hour show or something next week.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun to do. So I'm actually on a price here. I like the 2 horse the most. Give me the 2. I think we're sitting at 7-1 on the board right now.
8-1.
8-1. But yeah, give me the 2 horse. I think that's the horse in here that can make the most noise. I was 2-4, and the 1 was my 3rd choice in this spot. Like I mentioned, the 2 is coming in from Laurel and Charles. It's coming in from Laurel, race at Charlestown, the race before that. But that was at 4.5. And I think that this horse, I'm sorry, that was at 7. I think this horse can appreciate the 6.5. I think we're going to see a little bit more speed from the horse today. So I'm interested in the 2 horse Dr. De Vera's Way here at 7-1.
Mm-hmm. Good point by Bill here. Baffert's Derby horses are winning, but they're not getting any points. It's February now. And so, man, that's going to be a tough decision if you own Corniche or was it Newcomb or something like that just wanted Oaklawn, the Smarty Jones. I mean, that's got to be rough where you should be, 1st and 2nd or 3rd in the point standings, but you're in a big goose egg, kind of like Mike at the NHC on day one. Doesn't mean you can't switch trainers or, and
Make it happen.
come flying day two,
It's a weird spot, man. Like at some point you got to think you're switching trainers, right? I mean,
yeah.
Like, it's just so hard to be like, no, it's cool. Like, we don't, we're not worried about it. We don't want to compete for the Derby of one of the elite horses in the class, and we're just going to be fine with it. Like, to me, this is one of those spots where you got to be switching trainers if you have one of, like, to me, like Newgrange, I think is the name. That horse I think is really interesting because he hated that Oaklawn surface. And even though he hated the surface, he was still was able to run them down at the end. I think that you're not going to see him running at Oaklawn again. You see him at another track, and he looks awfully dangerous. So, and Doppelganger is going to like stretching out as well. Lost that race at Santa Anita last weekend, but had by far the best gallop out and had a little bit of a wide trip. I think that was probably the best horse in that race. It'll be interesting to see how they turn out, though.
Yeah, Oldie thinks the Preakness is going to be the big Triple Crown race this year. I would agree because I heard Jack Christopher is not coming along like they expected. And so you might not get a prep in before the Derby. And so, maybe a good spot for Jack Christopher, if he is a beast that we think he might be, for Chad Brown is maybe show up in the Preakness with a bunch of tired horses and the horse that's trying to get the second leg of the Triple Crown. And you could maybe spoil some parties there, Chad.
Well, if you like anyone in the Derby who's not a Baffert horse, betting overseas right now or betting in fixed odds markets is huge. I mean, they have because they've got some nice plus numbers. And like last I saw, I think it was Smile Happy, who was your favorite, I think 8-1 or 6-1 in the last Kentucky Derby futures pool, sitting on 20-1 in most places. So you're able to get a significantly better value if you're looking at anybody besides besides the field, which essentially is the Baffert horses right now and any unraced horse. So I've been kind of shopping around some Derby prices, hoping those Bafferts don't end up running, because you got to assume he's going to sue him before this thing actually goes down.
Yeah, and who knows how long the courts are actually going to drag it out. And so you might not have a decision made till after the Derby. And so, if you're a trainer, I mean, they move Life is Good to the Pletcher barn, and that horse is now a monster still. So I just wonder how many lengths that horse would have won the Derby by had the horse been sound. I mean, you could have been looking at a Triple Crown winner, but the horse is kind of fragile too. So maybe the horse wouldn't have wanted to run 2 weeks, at the Preakness or 3 weeks later at the Belmont after that.
But probably wins the Derby. I mean, after what we saw from Medina Spirit and the rest of that class, I mean, Life is Good was just open lengths faster than them early.
Now, if you look at Life is Good's breeding, are we okay at 1.25 miles for sure? Do we know? I mean, we just got 1 1/8 miles, and he was shut down. Irad was petting him from at least the 16th pole. I mean, I've seen a horse being shut down before, but like he was literally like petting him for a 16th of a mile.
Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff.
I mean, that's like posterizing somebody in basketball when you're dunking. I mean, that's what that was. He was posing for a picture.
Well, he could have pet him the first time under the wire, and it would have been fine. Let's be honest. That thing was over when they broke. All right, so we got 0 minutes post. We're getting ready to come down here to the gates. Did you play anything besides the pick 5 here, Brady? We got our pick 5 tickets right down here if anyone missed them. So those are scrolling down at the bottom. I played a pretty heavy 2-4 with I played pretty heavy 2-4 with 1-2 with 8 with 6 with 6-8 9 or 6-8 12 pick 4 or pick 5. So hopefully that one doesn't suck.
Nice. No, I just played a $40 daily double. 1-1 is all I played here, along with the pick 5. So trying to build a little bankroll for Gulfstream tomorrow. You know what's been nice ever since I got back home from the Pegasus? After almost every bet that I've made at Gulfstream, I've been able to hit the withdrawal button. Like
that doesn't suck.
Single time. Except the only race that I didn't bet properly today was the one with Old Town Road. I looked at that horse. He was like 5 to 6 morning line, and I'm like, oh God, please let me slip this horse through, because it's on the synthetic. It came out of Wesley's Ward's barn, and it didn't show speed, but there was so much speed in that race. And Irad was on the 7. I think it was the Christian horse that you knew was just absolutely going to go. And I was in the group text. I was like, hey, this Irad 7 horse is not even going to hit the board. He's going to be kind of suicidal speed up front, and it's going to set up for Jose to come from off the pace. So I bet a very heavy weighted try 3-7, even though I was like, hey, he's not going to hit the board. I'm like, well, maybe he'll carry on and it'll be Ortiz Exacta. I think there was a bomb. The stablemate actually got up for second. That also came out of Wesley Ward's barn. They both raced at Keeneland together. And Joel was on that horse. Somebody else is on Old Town Road. And I'm like, wow, this horse is the goods. And, usually for a Wesley Ward horse, you don't see him come off the pace. Usually it's all right, we're going to go grab the lead and we're going to sustain for 5 furlongs, Golden Pal style. But I didn't properly bet that race. I had some win money on the 3, but then I tried a really hard weighted try and weighted exacta. And I was like, man, I bet this race heavy and I still lost $60, but I won, but I didn't win because I didn't bet it properly. So
I was pissed about it. So I played tournaments today. I didn't do much cash betting at Gulfstream. And I had the 3 as my top pick and the 6 as my second pick in that race.
You were mad because the morning line was 5-1. You didn't get 5-1. You got 2-1.
I should have bet the damn exacta. That's one of those frustrating when you you have the top 2 in tournaments and you're just like, that would have paid nice. I mean, it's funny, the Wolfie's Dynaghost race, I was all about the 12, but the 2 is the other horse. It's a $700 exacta for $1.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there with 300 to win on the 12 and $0 else in the race.
I think about Pegasus Day. We watch the races right next to Todd Pletcher. Every single race, we would go to the left side of Gulfstream and Pletcher would be right there. Graham Motion would be right there. Brendan Walsh would be right there. I mean, everybody is there, and then there was us. And so I'm at the top of the stretch. I knew Colonel Liam was home. I'm yelling for Luis Saez, not to win, to hold second on Never Surprise, because I went all in the contest on a Colonel Liam over Never Surprise exacta that hit for 1350, that put me in 6th place heading into the final race, and I shoved on the wrong horse. But it's kind of funny once you know you're home and you've got the underneath horses, you're cheering harder for them than you are the actual winner.
It is crazy, especially those tournaments where you're playing Monster Exactas cold just to try and make a big move. I think I'm assuming this is a Charlestown pick 5 pool. We're over 100,000 now. I would be surprised if we don't get to 2, but we'll see. Just with the amount of people that are probably playing this track because of everything else. But it's a heck of a pick 5 pool. Let's see if we can get this puppy started in a good way, right?
Yeah. Well, once you and Oldie get your bets in, I'm sure it'll be well over 2.
Mine are in. And here we go.
Hope Sound flashing good early speed.
Toby Sound, there we go to the front.
Here as they race into the wire. King Nakia
looks like King Nakia did not want the front there and kind of got a little stopped on the rail. So that's a little unfortunate for the 3-5 favorite. Oh my gosh, this horse was just 5-2.
Wow,
not too long
down from 3rd. All dropping back
Oldie's in
to his customary spot near the back of the pack.
Let's see. I kind of love where this 2 is right now.
Southside Warrior.
There you go. Sitting in the pocket trip.
Wow.
Racing about 10 lengths off of the speed of Hope Sound through a 24-3 first quarter. Hope Sound.
The 1's starting to push the pace now.
Yeah, the 1's. This is
down to the wagering to 3-5. Now begins to move.
This is the panic button. The 1 hit the panic button. It said, "Hey, I'm not going to just let you have it easy on the front end."
Here's King Nakia up to challenge.
Looks pretty strong though.
Yeah.
Let's see if he after that first turn he can press on, or if the 4 is going to be able to hold him off. Because the 1 looks like he's pretty much all in. The 4 hasn't.
Yeah, the 4 hasn't really been touched yet, but the 4 looks like
King Nakia outside
cut the corner.
Hope Sound.
No.
Hope Sound battling on
I think the
bravely
4
at the rail, trying to come back on King Nakia.
He come in a little bit there.
Forges to a narrow lead. Hope
Not
Sound
enough.
back to second.
Wow. 3-5 is not what I expected there. I put my double bet in when it was 5-2.
Then Wall and
Well, we had the super.
Yeah, right. 1-4-5.
Gets over
1-4-5-2.
$2 million.
Okay, so the double's paying $7 into the 1 in the next. So, guys, crushed my price. Who was betting the 1? Oldie, are you betting the 1? It could have been Andy. Maybe Andy was like, "Hey, I'm going to take my winnings from that 8 horse in race 3. I'm going to put them all in the 1." So,
I'm impressed with that effort from the 1 there. With that first turn to still be able to get the job done like that, that was a nice effort.
Something you can maybe go back and look at is none of the horses on the EE system were a quote unquote need the lead type. And so, the 4 got the lead, which was surprising to me based on the equine edge numbers. The 2 ran kind of in form with the 57 pace number. It was just the 1 that didn't break to go get that lead. And so the 1 showed quite some versatility there off a 7-2 morning line to go to 3-5. So looks like the 1 can pass horses. And we're alive in the pick 5. So they knew. They always know, Brandon. They always know. You got to get that through your head. Whoever they may be, know. So
3-5 is a crazy bet down on that horse.
Yeah. It
Like
really
I
is.
was expecting you're going to see something significantly lower, and I'm surprised the 4 was on the lead. I mean, the 4 that's the first time the 4 has ever been on the lead first call.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And the 1 was like, I'm not going to let you do it. So good riding by the jockey and the 1 there to go up and get the lead and then turn them all away. So, all right, Mike. Well, we're going to call it a night. Enjoy the NHC top 10. That's pretty cool. Final table. Hope you get your voice back sometime soon.
Hopefully by the weekend.
I'll be at the Eclipse Awards on Thursday for all that, and Santa Anita, and then Gulfstream. So if you're at either of those tracks this weekend, I'll be at both. Hit us up. Hit us up on Twitter. Make sure you like the show, retweet the show. Give us some input. We're going to try to maybe do a midday show sometime in the near future of Gulfstream. And so if that's something you guys would like, let us know. And we'll see you guys next week. And good luck this weekend, whether you're playing the good chalk or fading the bad chalk.
Have a good one, guys.